Hello students, welcome to your online classes. Today we are going to discuss History chapter 8 and the name of the chapter is Education under the British Rule. So in this chapter different topics we will discuss and we will discuss about what was the situation of education in India in the pre-British India. So in pre-British India, according to the reports of William Adam, there were no formal system of education. So the education was given through pathshalas and they were given both private and public education in the pathshalas. In 1830, William Adam toured the districts of Bengal and Bihar and he found that over 1 lakh pathshalas were functioning there, and in the pathshalas around 20 students study in group. They were set up and managed either by wealthy merchants or the community itself. Sometimes they were started by a guru who imparted education at the pathshala. The pathshalas followed a very flexible system of education. There were no formal school, there were no school buildings. They can be held in the open spaces and the trees in the temples. The children sat on the ground instead of benches or chairs. So totally informal type of education was being given. You can see a village pathshala, picture of a village pathshala, how it is running. So it is quite in contrast to your schools in which you study. Okay. So now what we find that there were no fees and the pathshalas or the education system were free from examination. That means there were no regular exams. Teaching was basically done orally and the children were supposed to learn all the religious stories or arithmetic rules orally. The guru or the teacher taught according to the needs of the student. That means the student, if student needs to be studied arithmetic, then it will be provided to him. So it was a very good thing that the needs of the student were taken care of. Students of all age group and all classes sit together and the teacher interact with them separately. So there were no different classes for different age groups at that time. One of the most interesting feature what we will find that the timetable was very flexible. The holidays were given according to the convenience of the students. Basically there was a agrarian structure or the basic economy was based on agriculture. So during the sowing period and during the harvesting of crops, the student can take leave and help their families in the fields. Once the sowing period and harvesting period is over, the school gets restarted. So this was a very interesting features. According to William Arnold, the schools which were run in Punjab were basically based on the memorizing of things. There were also Persian schools running and Sanskrit academics were also running. Now what happened, this was the pre-British India period, the education system, and what happened when the British involved in the education system of India. So they thought that there was no proper education, so they established some educational institution. One of them was Calcutta Madrasa, 1781. 1791 Hindu college was set up in Benares, and in 1784 Royal Asiatic Society of Bengal was there formed, and Charter Act of 1830 was in this Charter Act grants were given to schools and educational institutions. Okay. 2 Sanskrit colleges were opened to promote Sanskrit language, one in Calcutta and one in Delhi. This is a picture of Sanskrit college which is situated in Calcutta. Now it is known, and now it is the name of Calcutta is changed to Kolkata. Okay, now we will go through the school of thoughts. School of thoughts means there were two kinds of thoughts that one favored the traditional Indian language literature and the other favored the modern European language and literature. So the Orientalists were the people who have sound knowledge of language literature which were ancient in India, that is Sanskrit and Persian languages, and this was important because it will help people of the British people to understand the process of administration which was in ancient India, and there were valuable information which were written in Sanskrit and Persian. They will get it, and the people who know these languages well will interpret them in simple languages. So that's it for today. See you in the next class.